Hello and welcome to
Get Real with the English Sisters.
Welcome everyone.
Welcome. So,
dark side.
The dark side of self-discipline.
Self-control.
Yeah, self-control, self-discipline. Yeah. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Because you would think that self-control
I would
is...
say it was self-control more than self-discipline.
Well, it's the same thing, isn't it? Don't start. It's the same thing, isn't it? Self-control, self-discipline. What's the difference?
I was going to say, I don't know.
I think self-control is the ability to control behaviours in order to avoid temptations and to achieve goals.
So I suppose it is a bit like discipline, isn't it? Being disciplined.
Definitely. It's exactly the
I think
same
the
thing.
word control, it has a different like
connotations to it. It's
like you're in control.
Isn't that good though,
like
to be in control?
Freak comes to mind.
Does it? It's all like all the negative things.
Yeah. Maybe that's the dark side of self-control, when you become a control freak.
And you're controlling yourself just too much. Yeah, I think you've hit it on the nail there already.
There's the expression, isn't it? Control freak.
Control freak, yeah.
I mean, it's not very nice. But...
No, but some people are freakishly in control of their own lives and it's just not good for them.
It's a bit scary, really, I think, if it's too much.
So there's too many limitations put on yourself.
That's the dark side.
Yeah. Because then in the end, you don't end up having that fun that you're supposed to be having, do you?
Well, you don't have any fun.
What you mean? Absolutely none?
Well, not much.
Not if we're doing the dark side of things.
Not if it's too much and you're actually, like what you said, freakishly in control. Everything has to be controlled by you. First of all,
what a nightmare! Yeah.
You can never control everything.
No, you can't.
It's just impossible. I mean, just the fact that we're on this planet revolving around.
We're moving right now.
So fast. Yeah. I mean, anything could happen any time. I mean, we could be hit by a comet or whatever they call it, and it could all be the end.
It could be. So
nothing is in control, really. But discipline is different.
Yeah.
Because you can be disciplined about your dietary needs, or you can be disciplined about your goals that you can have, or about even how you do the housework. You can have a schedule and a routine and be disciplined
definitely,
and do it all the time.
Yeah. Business. You need a certain amount of discipline. Of course
you would say that.
Why?
You always go to business.
Because
you're the one that's always in control.
Well, yeah, I do have to be in control. But I mean, I am learning to let go now and delegate a lot, as you've seen.
Yeah. That's not really...
With the assistants and everything. Yeah. So it's not that much of a... But yeah, I think in that way, come on, you need that self-control. Otherwise, the kind of self-discipline, otherwise you would never... You say,
you wouldn't do anything, would you?
You wouldn't do anything. You wouldn't be able to achieve any of your goals. Come on. If you do have goals, and even if you don't, you just have to... You have to have the self-discipline and the self-control to say, don't you? Surely, I mean... You do.
You do.
You do. I mean, that's that's how you're brought up as well, isn't it? You have the control. You have to go to school. You have to do certain things all the time. If anything is a bit too much. That's why when I was thinking about,
that's why there's so much anxiety as well. Because there's too much programming.
That's why I thought...
There's too much planning, too many...
I thought
too
about
much of your day is too full.
Too full, and there is a dark side to that. The dark side to it.
That reminds me of a client we had that she said that she never, because she was studying really hard, she never had time to do anything else apart from studying.
Yeah.
So no time to exercise, no time to do anything. And I think that's the dark side of it, because just to achieve her goal, the discipline, whereas sometimes if you just let go of that control and you do have 30 minutes of exercise, your brain will work better.
It will work better, yeah.
The other day I was listening to a podcast and they said, this scientist, she said that if you just exercise for 30 minutes a day, your actual, where your memory is stored in your brain, your hippocampus is more likely to stay nice and fluffy.
Oh, wow. Who wouldn't want a fluffy hippocampus?
That's what she said. It was cute the way she explained it to make it.
It sounds like it's going to
It
stay
avoids dementia. It avoids
young and
stays
fluffy
young
and supple.
but I was thinking the children, they don't really get that much time. Maybe that's why there's so much attention deficit disorder and things like that now, because children haven't got really, they haven't, they're not allowed to like walk to school or because it's
Well,
dangerous,
yeah,
because it can be dangerous. But even in school, I think they should have like allow more like time to like
Breaks.
walk around, or maybe just even in the classroom be able to be in movement. Don't just have to sit at a desk. It's such an old-fashioned way of learning now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just sitting there
old-fashioned.
still.
You could still learn even if you're jumping up and down.
Yeah.
You'll learn. You'll probably learn more.
Exactly.
If
Well,
you
that's what
are
she
jumping
said.
up
she
and
said
down.
You have more focus if you're doing exercise.
I think maybe in some more modern schools they kind of understood that
I don't
now.
think so, but anyway.
Well, yeah. Anyway, yeah. The whole thing about this self-control, this dark side to it, is something that I think we should all become aware of, because yes, discipline is excellent. Yes, you can be great at doing your exercises, like what we were saying, and following a certain regime, food-wise, and going to work and everything. But then,
Do you miss out on things?
Yeah.
You miss out on a hell of a lot.
You
Will you
do.
have regrets?
And then what about like the things that just happen like by chance?
You can't go to them.
Like, yeah, if you've
can't
got
do
too
that.
much self-control and a colleague invites you and say, hey, we're going out later on, do you want to come along? You say, oh gosh, no, because I've got my whatever programmed.
Instead of making it happen, it reminds me of when our friend
Yeah.
Daniela, she invited me to Mauritius
And
when
you
the
just
kids were little.
Oh gosh, yeah.
She was an air hostess.
Oh yeah,
and she
you
had like free tickets for
and you
good.
made it happen,
And it was like 2 days time we had to leave.
Yeah, it was
I
immediate.
just made it happen immediately. I cancelled everything. I thought this is an opportunity of a lifetime.
But if you'd had too much
No, I would have
self-control,
said,
you would have said,
way.
no, who's going to
I can't.
organise
Who's
this?
going to take the kids to school? Who's going to do this?
Too
Who's gonna
much.
do that?
Yeah. There you
But
go.
I managed to organise it all with the help of obviously people that I could rely on, like my husband,
Especially him,
I
yeah.
can't remember who took the kids to school.
I
now.
can't remember, yeah. I think I was of aid in something. But I mean,
Vaguely, it was such a long time ago.
yeah, it was so many years ago. I can't really remember. No, I think I did pick him up a couple of times. But anyway, yeah, that is a good example of it. The things you miss out on.
I would have missed out on that. It was beautiful.
Kind of reminds me of that
time.
film, the Yes Man or whatever, where you have to say yes to everything for a while. So I think that's not good for, people that don't have that much self-control, because then you would have like too
have to
much
do the
chaos.
opposite. They'd have to say no.
No. But if you are somebody that is very like, you're also like a perfectionist and everything has to be done, and this reminds you, as we're discussing it, you think, yeah, hey, that kind of sounds a bit like me. Then maybe you could practice being more flexible and saying yes and changing, mixing up the routine.
Yeah, just letting go a bit.
Letting go, yes.
That self-control.
Definitely letting go of it.
How
do you let go of it if you...
Determination, but I think determination is a different... It's not exactly the same.
Well... Now this password's gone off here. I found it again. Yeah. Well, it says psychologists define self-control as the ability to delay gratification and
like
resist
marshmallow toast,
unwanted behaviours or urges. But apparently they say there is a limited resource of self-control
So it runs
that you
out.
can have, and it can be depleted.
So,
I don't know.
self-control runs out.
Sounds weird.
That sounds strange. Well, maybe what means it is too much. It's too much.
What do you mean it's too? Yeah. What do you mean it's too much?
in the end it's depleted, because if you just keep exercising self-control, you can't.
It's not sustainable,
No,
is
it's
it?
not
So
sustainable.
you're going to end up
Or
unhappy
you're
in
going
the
to
end.
end up with a nervous breakdown at the end of
Yeah,
your tether.
exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you could end up with a nervous breakdown. I mean, okay, you are now aware of this. So there is a dark side
Well,
to
yeah, maybe it's a bit
self-control.
like what they say about when you keep things in too much, you keep things too tight, and in the end you're going to explode.
Yeah, you never let go.
No,
You
yeah.
never express your emotions completely because you think, no, if I actually say that, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's going to be
maybe
suffer.
I'll make somebody suffer. Yeah, well, maybe you have to let it out, not all at once, but just a little bit. But,
Yeah,
so
just
that
gently.
gently, day by day, and
Or
release some
exercise,
of
even just maybe writing a journal or something, letting go of your
Yeah.
frustrations,
letting go of your
yeah,
self-control in a
letting go and
journal.
saying what you would like to do maybe instead of. What
Exactly.
can I do instead of doing that?
Sometimes, it really just goes back again to just closing your eyes and taking a few deep breaths and just thinking. I think about who you would be if you could let go. What would you look like? What would it feel like? You could even imagine, what would you be wearing? If
Yeah.
like, what clothes would you be wearing if you could, if
That's
you,
a good one, because so many people keep they keep tight, don't they?
yeah, they don't,
They don't express themselves.
No, so
through their
what
clothes. They
clothes
might
would
say,
you
I
be?
can never wear that.
No, I can never wear that. Imagine, what would you be wearing? Just try and imagine with your eyes closed what it would feel like to let go. And I think if you do this like mini visualization, like every day for a while, then it might turn into the person you could become.
The person you
Slowly.
would be
The person that's inside you that somehow
is blocked.
is. I get.
That's the dark side, isn't it?
Obviously, this
Why
is
are
a
you
dark.
laughing?
Because you're getting words out. I mean, you're right. Yeah, it's blocked. Yeah, I didn't actually think there could be a person inside
There's
you
like
that's
a
blocked.
blockage.
And you do this gently, obviously, because we don't want you to think, oh gosh, you'll be
Partying.
releasing too much. You want to check the ecology of the family and the people around you. So, like, make sure, because they're used to you being in a certain way, aren't they? They're used to having you.
And they can keep you locked in that way too.
Well, it's not them that keep you. You yourself are doing
but
it.
the way they're acting towards you keeps you locked into that.
Because that's what they're used to.
That's what they're used
that's
to.
what they're used to. That's a person they think
You are.
you are. But if you're not comfortable and you do think this dark side could relate to you a little bit, because otherwise you won't even be considering it. Because if you don't think it relates, then it's not bothering
I think it
you.
does relate to everyone.
Do you?
Yeah.
In some way or other.
In
You
some
think
way.
by letting go.
Letting go.
Well, letting go is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Not always, but yeah. In certain
Most
of the time. I mean, like, if you let go.
Most of the time we have too much control on too many things, and it gives us anxiety. Yeah, I think if we let go of things, first of all, you can let go of anything that doesn't concern you directly.
Absolutely.
Like, say, the worldly problems, just let go of all of that. Because
Yes.
that causes a lot of anxiety.
Goodness me.
That's
Tremendous.
too much. I would say that's far too much control. You can't.
You can't really control
You
that.
can't control that at all. And
You think
but
you're
a lot of
controlling
people
it.
can think they are
By
but
watching
then
continuously,
it just goes into you, and it causes stifles you.
Definitely.
Too much.
Stifles you, depresses you, saddens
Makes
you,
feel
angers
sad,
you.
angry.
There's a lot of anger, yeah. So definitely you can get rid of that. You can realize that the world will go on even whether you're watching the news every hour or whatever. It'll still go on. Things will happen. They're out of your control. Completely. Unless you are the president of a nation.
You can always do something, but then once you've done that, you can
vote and have your opinions and help and everything. But then, yes,
after that, you have to let go.
After that, you've got to let go. You've got to let go.
You've got to let go, because otherwise it'll be the end of you.
Yeah.
It's too much for one person to take.
It is too much.
So that's the dark side, really.
Yes, that is the dark side.
I think the dark side is that we don't just try to control ourselves, we try and control everyone else as well. People.
Definitely try and
That's,
control
that's
people.
what we saw that once when he said, "Is it your business? It's not my business. So get out of there."
Yeah.
You can ask yourself the question: is it my business
Is it my business to be concerned?
about that?
No.
If it's not,
If it's
get
not,
out.
get out. Yeah, I do remember
I'm
that.
thinking it's like even if you're a person that
Wants to control your partner, for example. Yeah,
the
we've
way
had
they're
many
dressed,
clients
the way
like
they're
that.
dressed or something.
Yeah.
And then you can ask yourself, is it my business? Is it? Maybe it is if they're reflecting on you in a certain way. If you're going to do or something in their way, something completely
like a
wild.
business official thing.
Yeah, and they turn up in
shorts or something. You say,
sloppy.
yeah, that's sloppy. We'd certainly tell
Maybe
our
in
husbands
that
off,
case
wouldn't
it
we?
would be that, but not if you're just going out on a Sunday. But I still feel as if it's a lack of respect.
You do, don't
do,
you?
yeah.
That's something that you do. You say, oh, don't wear that.
Because if I'm wearing something nice and I think, no.
You think, I've made the effort to look
but
pretty.
really it's none of my business. But I can see
Isn't
what
it
they
your
look.
business?
Well,
I
don't
mean,
think so, really.
it's
Not
your
really.
partner,
It's a
not
part of
really.
me that wants to control that side.
That is true.
It's not really my business.
No, it's not. You're
I think a
right.
lot of women can relate to that.
I think especially
and men
women.
as well, probably. Because men as well. Do you remember that episode of Modern Families when he always didn't want Gloria to wear
The high heels.
the high
Because she
heels.
couldn't walk around
and
anywhere.
then she said, "I'll show you," and then she
Yeah.
gets all messy and she doesn't do her makeup or her
Oh
hair. and
my
she puts,
gosh. Oh
and he
yeah.
says, "Are you going to come out like
Oh
that?"
yeah.
When they had
That
to
was
go out.
hilarious.
That was funny.
Yeah, when she always wore her suits.
So it's not
her
always. It's not
No.
always. Something to do with us women.
No, you're absolutely right. No.
And then they make a fuss, though, don't they? The men sometimes. So you take so long
Yeah.
to get ready. But then she showed him.
Oh,
didn't
she showed him. That was hilarious. How much did he really want? How much was he really attached to that side of her?
Totally.
The beautiful woman that
Totally.
he'd married.
Yeah.
He didn't want her to look
So he
sloppy.
was in her
It was
business
nourishing
there.
his ego to
Yes.
have this gorgeous wife next to him.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's when he was in her business.
He should have let go.
He should have let go.
And that's just
And
a
the funny thing
comedy,
is,
but it
yeah, it's a
reflects
comedy,
on
but
life in
The
general.
funny thing is that where I find is when you do let go, then they come to you and say, "Is this okay? Do I look okay?"
If you don't
If you
offer an
interfere
opinion,
or offer an
yeah,
opinion,
yeah.
then they'll eventually come to you and ask you.
Yeah, I think that's the best way, really, to let them come to
Probably,
you and
yeah.
ask. But you're right. I mean, self-control isn't just about oneself.
No.
It does
I think
irradiate
yes, I
all
think it's
over. If
difficult
there's
for
too,
it to just be about yourself.
because you want to control your environment. You want to control the people. No, I don't. No, I really.
I'm not saying
no, because you're looking at me thinking that's you.
No, because I'm thinking you
It's
do
not
want to
really.
control your
If anything,
environment.
yeah,
If anything,
it's more you. You have more.
I have
of,
let go now, but I find that I've let go more now because I'm not so stressed and I'm not so anxious and I'm more calm.
the truth is
When-
that
the
when
truth is
you
when
are
you
anxious,
And
you
stress,
do.
you I felt as if I needed to control something.
You did.
Like when mum and dad were really ill and I couldn't
yeah.
control that. I felt as if I had to control the way the house looked,
Look,
make it look nice and
goodness me,
tidy.
yeah.
No, the house is really messy
It doesn't
sometimes,
matter
and
if
I
the
don't
pillows
care.
are thrown
Yeah,
around.
if I haven't hoovered that day,
Yeah.
I'm not bothered.
No, that's true. Yeah.
And also because I feel as if I've got help now because my husband helps. And
He helps more.
my
Yeah.
son helps me.
Yeah,
He's at
they're
home
grown
now.
up.
They're grown
yeah.
up. They help. They're not just making a mess out when they're little.
Yeah, when they're little, they're
They
making
make
the
a
mess. Yeah.
But you can reframe that and think how cute that is.
Oh yeah, it's like,
And the mess won't be there for that long.
don't worry because those tiny fingertips won't be
hurry.
on the window panes
Be
for
happy,
long. Yeah, even if they are messing them up, they're adorable. Yeah, that is so true.
I find the more time you have to let go of control, the less control you need. And it's like, it is like a bit of a vicious circle if you let go of it.
So I think, here what we could say is that perhaps that would be helpful is to let go of self-control and 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 then everything else will sort of loosen around you as well.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but how do you actually let go?
I think it's discipline.
It's so it's a bit of a paradox, isn't it?
Yes, but I
Yeah.
think you have to be disciplined about doing it.
About
you have to
letting
notice
go.
that you're being controlling or trying to be in control of too much, and just say no. Take a deep breath.
Yeah, and do the
That'll be
little
okay.
exercise to visualize yourself when you're not in control and when you're relaxed. What are you doing? Are you running through fields with flowers, or are you sitting somewhere? Whatever, just notice what you're doing, because everyone has a different, an image of oneself, of how they would be if they were free and not in control. So I think if you learn how to do that, imagine the feeling.
Yeah, I think if you can visualize the version of you that was,
what
if
would
you
it
wasn't
feel
in
like?
control.
Yeah, as well. The feelings that would be going through your body. What would
maybe
your
like
feet
as if you're
feel
on a
like?
warm beach.
Yeah. What would it feel like?
Without shoes on.
Lovely. Yeah. What would the feeling be? Because maybe you've experienced that feeling before, even if
Maybe
you are.
that would be horrifying to some, creepy crawlies on the sand. If you are too controlling, you might be thinking of things like that. And instead of just actually allowing yourself to feel the warm sand under your feet, the waves.
You can choose wherever you want to go, whatever comes into your mind, because something always comes up. It's surprising. Many of our clients have been really surprised by this. And sometimes, when they do it the first time, they think, gosh, wow, that is, you think it's so silly, isn't it? All you have to really do is just close your eyes and go there. Just for one moment, take a deep breath and just imagine who you would be, what you would do, what you would be feeling.
And then maybe if you can't do that straight away, but take small steps towards doing it.
Yeah.
So if you think, well, I would want to have a whole hour to myself to just go to a park and sit there. Maybe on your way home, stop at a park and sit on a park bench for 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
Yeah. Look up at the trees.
Yeah, just take baby steps towards doing that. Because in the end, there's always a few minutes you can borrow here and there to have hours afterwards of well-being.
Absolutely. There's the moments in between the moments that count. Yeah. Hours of well-being afterwards.
Well, let us know what you think.
Let us know, yeah. If you're a bit of a control freak.
Have you experienced the dark side of self-control
or not?
Let us know.
Let us know.
Follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. And please come and support us too on YouTube, where you can
say
leave
hello,
all your comments, and join our family.
Wonderful.
Bye from the
English Sisters.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.